It's one of our first major experiments in stereo, I think.
How do you sort out which songs are going to go onto an album? Because you all write, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
We row.
Yeah.
Argue.
Yeah.
We do write individually, so I mean, like, so we go our separate ways for whenever the tour's over or whatever. And then we sort of have a routining period where we sort of get together and sort of play each other the new songs. And then what happens is a sort of a very huge sifting process where we sort of find out what songs...
Like, no way am I going to play that, or...
Things like that. And we always
Forget
work
it.
it. Also, sort of, as far as the individual song is concerned, and also what will go with how the songs will sort of sound with each other. So it's basically sort of looking in terms of an album as opposed to just individual songs.
Yeah, we have tried in the past to provide a lot of variety on each album and a lot of contrasts, and so we've had to sort of have a good cross-section of material.
All right, well, let's hear some of the heavy side of your music. The March of the Black Queen from Queen 2. From Queen 2, March of the Black Queen. Brian, you can say something about Queen.
I thought it was a good idea to play that because Queen 2 is an album which in some ways is the root of all that happened thereafter, I think. And if people haven't heard that before, I think you could hear that and think that that was something off the new album, really. It still sounds that fresh to me. And there are a lot of things that you can hear, that all the sort of texture work was there, and the intricate harmonies, the guitar harmonies and stuff, sort of the precursor of Bohemian Rhapsody in many ways. So I think that was a very important album for us. It was also the first one which came into the charts.
How long did March of the Black Queen take you to record?
The tape went transparent.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Those were the days of 16-track studios, and I think, wasn't it?
Yes, it was 16-track.
You have now 24 and 32-track. But I mean, as we did so many overdubs, I mean, on 16-track, it was like we just kept piling it on, and it was like that's what Roger means when the tape went transparent, because it just couldn't take anymore. I think it snapped in about 2 places.
It'd gone over the head so many times, and overdubbing, the oxide had worn off.
It was a big step for us at the time, certainly, because no one was really doing that kind of thing in those days.
In fact, when this album came out, we were doing our own first headlining tour after supporting Mott the Hoople and gaining an enormous amount of live experience and a large following, really, for a relatively new band.
Well, then, Roger, you went on to support Mott the Hoople in the States, right?
Yeah, it seemed a logical step because it had worked so well, and we got on with them very well personally as well, which doesn't always happen on tours, you know. It's always good if the bands that are touring together do get on well. And so we really took the logical step and went to America with them as well. And we did learn quite a lot of them. They were a really good live band.
Excellent live band, yeah.
We had a very good American tour, up to the point when Brian got hepatitis and collapsed, and we had to come home. At which point things looked very black.
Well, then you did an extraordinary thing. Having supported once in England and having supported once in the States, you then went to headline straight away in England, and then you went to headline straight away in the States.
It was quite rare then, yeah, because we did go to sort of playing the Rainbow by ourselves in one sort of step.
We did take a lot of risks, actually. I think most of them paid off.
Most of them.
In the States, you got yourselves an American manager.
Well, we already had him, in fact. He was taken on by... But it helped us for when we went to America. He was taken on by Trident, which is the company which we were signed to at the time, the sort of production deal. And I think he helped in many ways with our introduction to America, being a Yank, you know. He was from California.
Basically, I think we'd signed all the deals, I mean, the recording deals and the publishing deals. So, in effect, we were signed to Trident, and at a later stage, Jack Nelson, who's the person we're talking about, came in to sort of look after the management side of things. So he was brought in at a later stage.
Yeah,
sure.
We should make it a little clear. When we came to the point of signing record contracts, there was a few record companies who were interested, but instead of doing that, we signed to a production company, and the deal is that you record for them, and they then do a deal with the record company. So you have a kind of middleman. And Trident with this middleman.
At the time, it seems a good idea because an established company, a fairly high-power established company, seems more able to deal with the fairly high-powered record companies than the mere novice, humble musicians.
£20 a week musicians.
There is a huge basic drawback in the fact that your manager is then your record company, and you don't have anyone who can represent you to the record company. So you have an impossible situation where it's basically the band against everyone else, and it generated friction in every department.
All right, well, now we come on to your third album, Sheer Heart Attack, and the biggest hit from that, which went to number 2 in November 74, was Killer Queen.
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet. Bethany cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette, insatiable and appetite. Wanna try?
Was this written about a lovely lady of your acquaintance then?
No, another fictitious person.
I mean, there's wonderful lyrics, and there's dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind, gunpowder, gelatine, I mean, marvellous stuff. But we're not going to get any clues. This society...
I think if I was to sort of analyse every verse, it would be very boring for the listeners, and it might sort of shatter a few illusions that others sort of kept it.
It's one that sticks in the mind, so anyway, it's very obvious that you're a painstakingly thorough, very methodical group. I mean, you're a perfectionist.
God, that sounds really boring, doesn't it?
No, but I mean, I think it's much to be admired, the fact that you go into every facet of production, not only just the music, you see it right down to the last dot, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, we always thought that was essential, not only in the production, but in every detail that we're involved
learned through
in.
hard experience, really.
Yeah, I mean, right down to the last bit of print on the record cover and the way it's cut on the album, which is crucial, right down to the way the tours are set up. Everything we try to keep control of.
Because where there's
it's
a lot
not
of,
easy.
There's so much money involved these days. I mean, it's sort of almost sordid to talk about the amounts of money, but they are involved. And people are very clever, and nothing corrupts like large sums of money. And so